Hello and welcome. This is Katie. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm back with another project for Imagine Crafts, and today I've got a completely different project for you. Not a card. This is a little watercolor painting, if you will, that I did on canvas, and I'm using some all-purpose inks. You see there I had autumn leaf and banana cream. I've got chocolate and sky mist. Then I've got sky blue and tropical lagoon, and then I've got a couple here. I'm only going to use the regular white pigment ink or all-purpose ink, but I've got frost white and a gold. Not going to use those. I've got Fantastics and ink blushers. I'm going to use the ink blushers but not the Fantastics, but you can use the Fantastics with your all-purpose inks. It's great to use with those. Ink potion number 9 I'm going to use. I've got an eyedropper, a little palette, plastic palette, some fine detail brushes. You only need 1 or 2. Small, fine detail, because we're using those to flick on our seagrass. And then I've got an 8x10 canvas that I picked up at the craft store. Now, I am going to prep this with some of the white all-purpose ink. If you have gesso, use that. I have never seen, I had done some research on the all-purpose inks because you can use them on paper, you can use them on wood and fabric, but I hadn't seen anyone use it on canvas, so I thought I would try it and see. And I thought it was a good thing to share because no one has ever done it, or at least not on camera or in a blog post, so that you could see how it behaves, the all-purpose inks and the ink potion number 9 behave on canvas. So I'm mixing some colors here. So I've created my sand, which is that little tan color down there in the well, which is white, banana cream, autumn leaf, and a little bit of chocolate. And then for my water here, I've got a little bit of sky blue and tropical lagoon. And I'm using the ink potion number 9 in place of water. You can use water to dilute these inks without losing, I think like 25% water you can add to these inks without necessarily losing their opacity. I'm adding my sand now using a blusher tool. I didn't want lines for the sand. I wanted to dab it on to keep everything smooth. So using the edge of my ink blusher, I've added my sand. I dabbed it on. Using a heat gun in between, I'm heat setting this. I'm trying to dry this a little bit so that I can continue to add layers so that the colors don't necessarily blend immediately. Couple things I'm going to say about working on the canvas. 1, the ink potion number 9 keeps your ink wet, which is normal. You're going to find that on your watercolor paper, cardstock that you might use that on, but it never dried on the canvas. Even heat setting it, it was never totally dry, so that's something to keep in mind. It blends beautifully, so no matter what you use your ink potion number 9 on, it's going to blend great. Now, if you used water in place of the ink potion number 9, I believe it would dry, and I don't think you'd have a problem. But because I didn't use it, I have to go with what's happening here, right? So I do heat set in between so that I can continue to add layers. I'm wafting that heat tool around because it will burn your canvas, so just be mindful of that. I'm mixing up some more of the banana cream, autumn leaf, and chocolate to create my dunes, my seagrass, and flicking it on. There's nothing special to this technique. It's just flicking the paint on. I'm no professional when it comes to painting, so I'm sure someone's going to watch this and, do it better, and that's fine. This is just inspiration. This is just to show you that you can do this on canvas if you want. The one thing that I'll say, and I'm going to show at the end, is that I do seal this with an acrylic sealer, so because it never dried. Again, that could be because of the ink potion number 9 on the canvas, because I think if I was able to just use the all-purpose inks, and I didn't need probably water, because water evaporates, water dries. I'm not really sure what the ink potion number 9 is, made up of. So that could be why it didn't dry on the canvas. So as long as you seal it, if you're using ink potion number 9 on canvas, you're going to be fine. Once I sealed it, let it dry for half hour, it was totally fine to touch it. So I'm using the another blusher tool and adding in some white pigment ink, the white all-purpose ink, to give some waves action. And I'm going to start working on the other side of the canvas. I'm not going to finish it completely because it's the same technique that I did on the right side. I will take a paintbrush coming up and add more variation of the white paint, and I am going to add a little bit more blue of the turquoise, the tropical lagoon in there. Now I'm going to bring down the water a little bit so it's not such a straight line. I mean, we are kind of walking up right onto the water, was my perspective, if you will. And so bringing that water down. The one thing I'll say about using the ink potion number 9 is if you make a mistake, you can take this paint right off. You see as I put some paint down and then take a paper towel and dab it up, it comes right off. So it's very forgiving. It makes, being able to try things out that maybe if it doesn't look right, that you can change it without feeling like you've got to start over completely. So here I added a little bit of the white with the paintbrush and a little bit of blue, just to give a more watercolory look, even though we're working on canvas. So the shells that you saw in the photos and that are going to be coming up, those are from my personal stash. I didn't buy those at the store. My husband and I live right off the coast of North Carolina, so we walk the beach quite a bit, and we're at the beach quite a bit, and so we find all kinds of cool things. So the Mod Podge is the clear acrylic sealer that I used prior to putting down my shells. I am using On Point glue for this, and then to set them and get them to dry, I did use my heat tool. Once these shells heated up, the glue dried perfectly. So the On Point glue will work great to glue things like these shells and the teeth and the pelican feather down perfectly. Be careful, the shells get really hot. Even if you get some from the store, they're going to get really hot. So just be careful when you're touching them, and you can see that they're adhered really nicely. But that wraps it up, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Be sure and check the description box below for the products that I used. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.